Hi guys, this is Mrs. Moore again. I am here to discuss about telling time, okay? Um and with the analog clock. Now remember we have discussed two types of clocks. Digital clocks, that's what your two little dots, but we'll get that into a minute. But right now I want to focus on an analog clock. That is your circle clock that you'll probably see. Your parents may have an analog clock on the wall, or where are some other places you can think that you may see an analog clock? Um, the wall at your house, in the doctor's office, in the classroom. Just think of some other places you may see an analog clock, but I'm going to set this one up right here, okay? So I have the 12 here. This is how Mrs. Moore sets up her clock. So 12, 3, 6, 9, and I'm just going to fill it in here, okay, sweet people? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, okay? Let me make sure Brandon did not go away. All right, so, Brandon, come. Brandon tried to leave. You're seeing my life with Brandon, guys. So, right here on an analog clock, you have three different clocks and three different hands on a clock, but we're mainly going to focus on the two, okay? So you have the little hand that looks kind of like such. Remember we had little hand? The little hand is called your hour hand, okay? The longer hand is called your what? Do we know? The minute hand. Very good, okay? So we do have an hour hand. That's your little bitty hand. Hour hand, minute hand. Hour hand, minute hand. Hour hand is the short hand. Long hand is the minute hand, okay? So Mrs. Moore is going to set this clock right here. I'm going to set it up here. I'm going to have my hour hand, short hand pointing to the 3, and my minute hand pointing to the 12. Remember, I have told you guys that you need to say the hour number first and then the minute number. So think about that right now. All right, so let's look at it. This hour hand is pointing to the number 3, and the minute hand is pointing to the 12. Now, you're not going to say 3:12. Mm-mm. Don't you say that. Don't you say 3:12. I don't want that. What number do we say? Or what do we say when that minute hand is pointing to the 12? You don't just say 12. We don't do that. What do we say? Do we say 5,500? 5,000? 10? What do we say? Oh, clock. You got it. So let's look at this. The hour hand is pointing to the 3. The minute hand is pointing to the 12. But we do not say 3:12. We say 3 o'clock. Now, if I wanted to write that for the digital time, remember with the dot dot, what should go on this side? The 3, you got it. And what should go here? 0, 0. And how do we say that, sweet people? Let's do it together. Ready, go. 3 o'clock. You got it. Now, you know, guys, I love AU, Auburn University. So I had to pull out my special AU clock as well to teach this lesson to you. So, I was like, hey, let me just coordinate. You guys know I love color, so this works for you. So let's do this. I am going to take my clock off here, okay? But I'm going to make it a little bit higher here. I'm going to have my short hand here for the hour, long hand for minute. This is just to help your brain juices when I do the time, okay? So let's look at this. This is an analog clock. It is a circle clock, okay? So let's look at this now. Can you see that? Now, remember I told you on a clock and the battery's not working, guys. So, you know, that's why you don't see the second hand moving. I know some of you say, Miss Moore, it's not moving. You're right. It has a battery in here, but the battery is not working. So I'm just going to make it work, okay? So let's look. This little shorthand right here is my hour hand. You got it. The long hand is my minute hand. Remember, we always say the hour number first. The minute hand is pointing to the 12. Remember, you're not going to just say 7:12. You better not. You better not say that. What are you going to say? So what time is my Auburn University clock? And it's matching Mrs. Moore. What time is this? The hour hand is pointing to the 7. Minute hand is pointing to the 12. Do we know? Do we know? Can you say, I know, I know? I hear it. It is 7:00. Now, do you see? This is my digital time. If you want to put a little box around it, that's kind of like you have an alarm clock, okay? 7:00. When you see 00, you say o'clock, okay? So let's do a different time here. Let's do this one. See if I can trick you, but I know you can't because you guys are some smart people out there. Smart, smart, smart people. Uh-oh. Check this out. Don't worry about the second hand. Not worrying about that one at all. Okay? Not focusing on the second hand at all. My hour hand is pointing to the 12. And my minute hand, let me move it over just a hair. And my minute hand is pointing to the 12. What time is that? Hour hand is on 12. Minute hand is on 12. Do we know? If you know, raise your hand. I see those hands out there. I'm not going to call on them, but we're just going to say it together. On the count of 3, let's say it together. 1, 2, 3. It is 12:00. Now we're going to make our digital time, okay? You hear the bird singing? All right, so it is 12. That is your hour. Always write the hour number first, okay? Now, since it's o'clock, what 2 numbers do we write? You better not write 12. What are we going to write? 00. You got it. So now, I'm going to make my little alarm clock here. So now, what is my time, sweet people? It is 12:00. All right, I'm going to do one more for you, okay? One more for you. Let me see here. Let me see. I want to... Let's do this one. Again, do not worry about that second hand. Second hand is not working. Hopefully I have my other clock soon for the lessons this week, but don't worry about that. Let's look at this. Hour hand is pointing to the 3. Okay? Hour hand is pointing to the 3. Minute hand is pointing to the 12. Okay? Hour hand's pointing to the 3. Minute hand is pointing to the 12. Always say the hour number first, then the minute number. Do we have an idea? What's my hour number? It's 3. You got it. It's on the 12. What do we say? You don't write 12. What do you say? Or what do you write? 00. So guys, let's look at Mrs. Moore's alarm clock. What time is it on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. It is 3:00. You got it, sweet people. Now, on your assignment for today, you're going to do, you have a clock on there, you have an analog clock on there. Well, you're going to have to tell me the time of it on your clock. um so yeah, that's what we're going to do in a review. Shorthand, hour. Longhand, minute. O is when you're going to say for the O clock. Okay,